Hey there, I have something to share with you today. Are you ready? Now, this idea is about control. They're basically a government faction that was kind of made with, concerns about national security and safety and all that, due to, the conflict between superheroes and supervillains being kind of, yeah, they can be pretty destructive, not gonna lie, so. Yeah, and unfortunately, they're kind of using it to basically manipulate and they kind of manufacture their own heroes. And they're kind of wanting to replace the old heroes, such as Dreams and, other, superhero factions. And of course, they're also wanting to arrest supervillains, but, that's mainly their primary goal, though. No, I wouldn't. Alright, no. Though they are enemies and, rivals of Dreams, basically, yeah. mm. Anyway, the government. Alright, controls the government faction that was created. That was made to create artificially made superheroes as a response by corrupt and shady government agents due to supervillain activity. Has made it a faction that they can control and use for their own sins, while slowly getting rid of Dreams and other superhero factions, which was what he's talking about, and other superhero factions in Earth-Eye's vast universe, but mainly in the majority of St. Joan, aka the city, which is, where Anybody's, main operating grounds are. Alright, now, let's go over the current members and what I have for them right now. Let's see, there's Screaming Eagle. His true art is, military. He's like a former military man that was turned into a half-man, half-eagle hero who carries a Stars and Stripes energy shield and uses special arrow-like darts as a weapon. He also uses the air, land, and sea militia to back up his offense and defenses. Yeah, he's able to basically summon a bunch of military stuff, basically a support. Nah, currently he's like the only one that actually cares about, true heroism, yeah. So, he actually gets along pretty nicely with Dreams, but he's kind of under orders. He's kind of under orders, though. Yeah. And of course, there's Lady Justice. Her true art is, related to law. Is related to law, so they're kind of based on, legal terminology. No, excuse me, sorry about that. She resembles a winged figure of Lady Justice with a blind shawl and carries around a flaming sword with her. Her personality is like an extreme version of Wonder Woman. Oh no, that's not good. I mean, Wonder Woman, not gonna lie, I don't like her too much. Yeah, I know, like that what she represents and, is willing to fight for, but I don't like her too much. Yeah, mostly that's because of Injustice, but, I know that Injustice is an Elseworld story, is, a very different universe, but, it kind of soured me towards her. Of course, then again, I was kind of sour towards Superman, so maybe I should give them more of a fair chance, because that's technically a different universe. Not gonna lie. That's not anything bad towards the character, though. That's just more of my personal feelings. Yeah, basically, Lady Justice was a high-end paralegal before joining Control. Oh, she was a lawyer. Oh no, that's probably why she's in Control and is not exactly the nicest, unfortunately. Very strong sense of justice, though. Alright, the next one is Tank. His true art is Cannon. He's a robot modeled after a powerful army green tank, and has the ability to generate cannons from his body as well as seemingly anywhere, with special ammo types and different properties, as well as the ability to shoot himself out in it like an air bullet that can go supersonic. Now, he's kind of lacks agency, because he's kind of a robot and he's kind of struggling with that, especially since the government's not exactly the nicest. So, technically speaking, he's, aside from Screaming Eagle, he's like the one that's more amicable, yeah. Kind of due to that. Alright, Uncle Sam, this one is definitely not the nicest one, though. He is a former politician who lost an election, hides a not-so-nice and savory and controlling personality under his surface, and likes to torment people with his true arts, which he likes to use to torment others. Yeah, his true art is strings, by the way. So, you know what that's about. Yeah, you ever see? Yeah. He can use them to basically control people. He can basically use them to basically control people as well as rip into them like steel wires, basically. Yeah, he knows how to use them. Yeah, he's very good at hiding this, personality of his, largely due to the current party that, kind of may control, kind of having blind support for his ideals. Yeah. Yeah, he also likes to dress up, in kind of a ragged, looking Uncle Sam outfit. mm. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, yeah. Anyway, the next one is Mute. Their true art is Silence. Alright, now their hero with no face and a mime-like appearance with a black and white optical illusion cape and carrying a cane with an eye on it. And his true art allows him to cancel and seal other people's true arts, though he himself is not much of a fighter otherwise and has mysterious motives and never seems to speak. Yeah, can this guy actually be trusted? Probably not. Yeah, he's probably the one that, is kind of, most on, Control's side and, as basically loyal to the government, basically. They don't really speak too much, though. Probably related to their true art. Yeah, they can not only cancel people's true arts, by their presence, they can also kind of, use sealing on them, yeah. So that's not good. Alright, now. The next one is Shining Jewel, and her true art is Mana. Oh no, her true art allows her to use her magic ring to transform and exercise her true arts, allowing her to generate money, gold, and jewels, as well as, various things like that as weapons. She's a magical girl that was born and raised in a rich family that was connected to both business and politics. And she has a very vain and conceited personality. And she openly believes dreams are particular Endemati are the number one public enemy of the people, that which is largely motivated by her jealousy and deeply held beliefs. Yeah, that's probably part of, being so close to the government, as well as, basically being jelly of, Endemati's fame and, success, as a hero, basically. Even though that's largely not the real reason why Endemati does anything anyway. Anyway, so that's what we got to deal with. And we have the last one, which is actually later. Yeah, his name is The Ideal. His true art is Superhero. He has powers kind of similar to, similar to, Superman. Alright, he is the face and active leader of the party. He is a handsome look with a square jaw, blonde hair and blue eyes and large muscles, and has high charisma, which gave him plenty of support, and he likes to show off all the time. However, he has a very narcissistic personality lying underneath, and his methods of dealing with what he sees as evil tend to be a bit extreme. Yeah, it's not like Homelander, though. Homelander is just a straight-up villain, yeah. This guy, if I had to describe him, you remember number 1 from Born and Bred? Yeah, he's a bit more like that. Kind of like the average Twitter user. Those type of people on Twitter. Wait, I use Twitter. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Anyway, that was a tangent. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is basically he's kind of a bit of a hypocrite, yeah. Anyway, oh wow, alright, I got through all the members of Control and what I have for them so far. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you had plenty of fun. Remember to fly like bat and shine like the moon for weird stuff dreams are made of. Bye bye now.